All right, excited to welcome everybody back for another Friday Love and Learn. And these have been so fun. And I do want to say just right off the top, thank you to Julie Downing from ESU 13 and to John Skretta from ESU 6 for joining us. And I had some people ask me this week, like, what's kind of the point of this Love and Learn? And truly, it's for us to connect on a Friday, to kind of end on a positive note, to hear some of the great work that's going on. And I find it really energizing to be able to just learn some of the great things that fellow educators and people within our ESU network are passionate about. So we're going to do some of that today with our Love and Learn. Welcome. And we're just going to jump right into it, starting with the love from this past week. So Julie Downing, what is something that you loved from the week that was?
What I loved this last week was getting started on some work with my seed team in the educator effectiveness world to really develop some materials around our new teacher and principal standards. So a lot of you know that I share time with ESU 13 and with an office of coordinated school support, school and district support, where I work with the educator effectiveness group. And our teacher and principal standards have been out since April. And what I'm super excited about is we were able to put together a team of NDE people, ESU people, the fabulous Kellen Conroy from ESU 1, Derek Gangwish from ESU 3, and some higher ed folks. We've got Lauren Gotti from UNL, Adam Fetty from right out here at Chadron State College, and the one and only Sarah Skretta, who is the other half, the better half of the
amazing
Skretta and Skretta. We're all working and collaborating to build some PD materials to really launch those standards and be able to hand some things off to help our educators in Nebraska get familiar and aware of some of the shifts that are happening in there. This team is just pretty keen to shift that work and give more lip service and support to support and development of teachers, along with that evaluation. So it's been fun to work with that team. They're all super looking forward to getting those materials launched to all of our colleagues out there. And it's been such a fun week to see all of the, cross-pollination and connections between so many of the things that are happening in our state. Our standards, the teacher and principal standards, really touch, we had some MTSS work, the social, emotional, and behavior supports last week. And our work touches that. Those standards touch that. They touch all the continuous improvement work. They touch what we're doing with assessment and the through-year model. They touch all the things that we're trying to do with equity and data. They touch our teacher prep programs, building better teachers and better principals. So I'm loving being part of that. And you guys know that I'm a staff developer at heart. So when the team said we need to design some things, my brain lights up like a carnival, and I'm just super excited to get to share that work with you when we're done. So that's what I loved about this week.
Awesome. I can't tell that. You're just smiling ear to ear. Just really.
Well, it feels a little bit like I've been on this kind of shared contract now since about the 20th of August, and it's been a lot of working very closely just with the team to kind of understand the initiatives and the lay of the land and how this works at NDE and across the state. And it feels like we've been on a big inhale for a long time. And this work feels like we're going to get to exhale some really good resources to help support our friends out there in education. So super excited.
Yeah, there's so much there in terms of what you were describing that I think resonates with educators. One of the things that is so much to love about what you described is that it's a collaborative initiative that includes key stakeholders from a variety of levels who bring a variety of different vantage points to the process. And the work is so important. Julie, one of the things that I was thinking that just came to mind from prior conversations that I've had with other education leaders over the last 9 months or an eternity that the pandemic's been going on?
Right.
But it's a long time. It's a long time. And, is the realization that there's a pandemic, but that doesn't mean we press pause on pedagogy. It doesn't mean we say, hey, you know what? time out on learning because there's a pandemic, y'all. We're just going to sit back and wait. I mean, we have to be resilient enough, and we have to be adaptive and creative enough to still come out with an approach that is methodologically sound to support professional development, to support excellent educators. And I think the work that you're doing in the area you described is just vitally important. And I'm glad that you have been so purposeful in engaging people from a variety of levels.
It's a great team. So
yeah,
it's awesome. It's awesome. John, do we get to your love?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of related in terms of what I was just describing. I've had the opportunity over the last several weeks to be involved in a cooperative effort between the Nebraska Rural Community Schools Association, NERCSA, and ESUCC, basically working on trying to build out supports for remote learning. Obviously, in the situation we're in now, some of Nebraska schools are in full remote, some are in hybrid, most are still in person, but there's huge strains operationally that they're experiencing, and we're anticipating that more schools are going to go remote over the next, potentially over the next few weeks even, and meaning prior to the end of the first semester. So we're working together on a multi-committee framework to share information and resources, and it includes ESU administrators, superintendents, other education experts from across the state, arranged topically by committee in areas of focus that include things like, hey, how do you even gauge the success of a remote learning environment? And what are ways administrators need to think about supporting teachers intentionally and compassionately during this time? And that's one of the loves that I wanted to share, is just that there's been so much fellowship and camaraderie in those conversations already that it's been hugely inspiring to me. And I wanted to give a shout out to Jen McNally, who's the mental health specialist with ESU 5, because on the Committee on Administrative Supports, she emphasized the importance of self-care, and she emphasized the importance of, affirmation, affirming the efforts of others, but also self-affirmation and understanding that, you matter, you're capable, you're seen, you're believed, you're brave, and, you got this basically. And I think there's so much strain on educators right now because you've got all the regular routines and demands of the work setting, and then you layer it with a pandemic, and it just puts it right over the top in terms of stress and agitation for educators. So those sort of supports become even more important, and just really happy to be a part of that initiative. Looking forward to the web resources that are published from that.
Yeah, I've been sharing with people pretty consistently that, people burn out from teaching in normal times, let alone during a pandemic with all the present challenges. So I think you're spot on there in terms of just trying to value that self-care piece and bringing that conversation to the forefront. I actually spoke with Jen McNally this week as well, and we got a chance to kind of talk about what we might do in a similar format to this to try to support that message.
So check this out. She's one of those people that, you're having a collegial conversation with, and actually following it, I was like, I feel like I think I just had a therapeutic experience, better as a result of talking with this person.
Right. I would echo that. I think that's been my experience as well, and really appreciate when we get a chance to collaborate. And to share my love from this week, I had a chance to take part in the virtual field trip content providers training, which means anyone in Nebraska who is providing those opportunities through our NVIS site, we invite them in, and there's so many new to that space organizations that it was really rewarding to watch some representatives from like the Omaha Zoo, for example, who've been delivering virtual field trips for over 20 years. Those people who are really steeped in that work lead, share, give some really great ideas to people who are looking to do that really well, for maybe the first time or in their first 5 or 6 months of doing this. And so we had over 65 people in a Zoom where we had, I wanted to give a shout out to Annie Mungard, to Peter Brunette, and to Alvis Marr, who all presented as VFT providers. Our DL coordinators rocked it. They were in there helping all these new people out and making connections. And there was an energy in that Zoom that just like filled my bucket. And so I know that everyone in there has a heart for making really authentic and fun learning experiences for kiddos, that if we end up in a remote setting, what a great change of pace, I think, in the midst of that. And so we're weaving some of those experiences into the resource you're talking about there, John. And we went from 30 virtual field trip experiences to 103 right now, and I have more that I need to add. So it's been pretty amazing, and I'm loving the direction that's going. So been a lot of fun. Let's kind of transition now to your learn from this past week. So what's something that really kind of piqued your interest, or you found just insightful, or I don't know, where are we going with this, Julie Downing?
Well, I just want to say congrats on the huge growth in virtual field trips. That's awesome. And
that's mind-blowing, man.
What a great resource for our teachers and kids. So what I learned this week is this is the first week that our panhandle has gone to red on the dial. And so what I wanted to say is I knew this, but I had kind of forgotten. And I was reminded on a news program that, doctors have worn masks for like 150, 200 years to protect themselves. We promoted the masks during COVID to protect others. So on John's SelfCare note, we all need to wear masks for both reasons. And so this is kind of a nod to my friend Lane Carr over there at NDE, who keeps reminding us on Twitter and reminding us in meetings that we need to mask. We need to follow the 3 C's. Crowded places, close contacts, confined spaces, especially as we get into these holidays. So I have a little mask fashion show for you.
So
here we go. So this week we had.
This is going to be amazing.
Are you ready, Dr. Skretta? Okay, so this week we had Veterans Day, so I have a little Veterans Day mask. Has some lovely.
This is where we go. Ooh.
Red, white, and blue. Shout out to our veterans. Thank them all for their service. Those of you who know me know my sweet husband is Sergeant McDowning of the Nebraska State Patrol. So I have a little support the police mask that I enjoy wearing. My sweet mama, she's 82 and loves to sew. This is the mask she made me.
Oh, that's a nice.
I kind of like this one because it goes up, has that shape over your nose so your glasses don't fog up. When I need a little sunshine, what's that?
And fashionable. Both.
Yes. When I need a little sunshine, I have a sunshine mask. That one's always good for Walmart.
What we got here? What else you got?
Well, I like that one at Walmart because sometimes the people at Walmart are a little cranky, and that just makes a little sunshine for everybody. I have to give a shout out to the people at Chadron State College Housing Office. Got me a little Go Eagles, Protect the Nest mask. And you're just wrong in this state if you don't have one of these. Go Huskers. So
I feel like I might be wrong then because I wear these all the time. And I'm wondering, is this the whitey tidies of masks? Is that
I have one of those too.
This is not
I've got the whitey tidy. I do like the t-shirt cotton version. It's like less rough on my tender chin. But if you're going to have a mask, you have to also have some nice Germex. And I know ESUs have provided schools with like gallons and gallons and barrels of this. So that's my learn. There's a couple good reasons to wear masks and get your hand sanitizer.
That is powerful and on point. Absolutely on point. Yeah, the COVID numbers have been skyrocketing. So what I've learned is how to wear a mask appropriately this week. And was on a lot of Zooms this week where educators were doing the one ear. Like, it's right there. It's at the ready, baby. I can mask up real quick, like.
Yeah, or the or the chin,
diaper.
Get that a lot. Yeah, get that a lot.
or the nose.
Yeah, that you see frequently at Walmart, the aforementioned Walmart. This is the Scott Frost. Really more the chin strap, kind of comfortable, understanding. You know, if your history was as a football player, it just feels right. Does it help to mitigate the spread of COVID at all? Probably not, Scott. Maybe pull that baby up there, buddy. Okay. Anyway, I am glad that we are learning that. I also learned something profoundly important this week that I wanted to share with fellow educators, because we know that fatigue, exhaustion has just just settled deep into your bones and your psyche. You know, some days it's just hard to sustain the energy needed to carry on and to soldier on and to trudge forward doing the important work that we need to accomplish day in and day out on behalf of Nebraska school children. So what resource is out there to support us? Well, obviously there's ESUs, and they do a phenomenal job, but there's also Nitro Cold Brew, baby, from Starbucks. This is canned now. You can get this stuff by the can. And what I learned this week is if you power down 6 or 8 of these babies, you are going to be tuned in. There's no Zoom fatigue anymore. You're not going to get that glassy-eyed, hey, oh man, wow, I'm not really even engaging anymore.
Where is Sarah Skretta in the adult supervision of the Nitro Cold Brew?
Well, I'm gonna have to modulate my intake, but folks, just wanted to give a quick recommendation. It's just the right stuff. One can, merely 10 calories, but I don't know how many thousand milligrams of caffeine, but it packs a wallop, baby.
You heard it here.
Starbucks a little product placement here on the Friday Love and Learn this week. I'm going to follow up with that and make a recommendation for something that I hadn't really. Here, I'll give you the Starbucks logo even on it. This is a pour over for the office.
Oh,
love it! Hot kettle.
Yeah,
and it is known to increase the caffeination because of how long it steeps in the grounds. And man, yeah, I can work all day.
Really, today's conversation has become like caffeine confessions.
Yeah, let's change the name to Caffeine Confessions. I actually really like that. That's pretty good. I'm taking notes of it. Well, I think my learn, I guess, to follow that one up would be to say, as a part of that NERCSA initiative, in support of teachers and the resources we're trying to get out there at NERCSA ESU CC collaboration. I've learned a ton from the different resources that people have shared over, from the collaborations, conversations we've been having. And right now, I spent most of my afternoon compiling a lot of those resources and starting to get them uploaded to our site. And I feel like with every one of those, I'm picking up tidbits of information. That's been terrific. I also really loved and learned from Julie Downing. We got a chance to work on the lunch bunch this past week. So that was awesome. You should check out those resources if you haven't. That's really, people are like, how do you pick who's on? Well, it's just the people I end up talking to a lot. I mean, our paths, the three of us, have kind of crossed on a number of initiatives.
Those resources from the Lunch and Learn, phenomenal. I mean, that's just such good stuff. And those conversations are such an awesome check-in point just to re-energize. I mean, you can't always rely on the artificial caffeine bump. Sometimes you need like a genuine, heartfelt, like you really gets to the source. And those are great. Those are just our great supports. And this week's was awesome. Over the top great. Yeah.
It was super solid, and I'm excited for next week's too, in that because we missed one, and so we're actually not taking a week off. We'll be on next Friday at noon Central, 11 Mountain, for Teacher Clarity, which I think is one of the largest areas of potential growth for us in remote learning. We say that.
Okay, so that just calls to mind, and I can't remember who said it, but one of my favorite phrases of the week. Oh yeah, Heather at Ord, the soup at Ord. She was like, she was describing the pandemic situation, and she referred to it as the abyss of ambiguity.
Ooh,
Isn't that awesome?
that's heavy.
That, so you want to talk about a need for clarity? I mean, we all need that. And there's like that, the world becomes a ball of confusion, and it's so dynamic, and you're trying to decipher what's going on day in and day out. And, COVID has been that abyss of ambiguity, but teacher clarity next Friday, deliver.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Julie Downing, for joining us. Thank you, John Skretta, for joining us for this, what we might start to call the clarity, caffeine, and confessions.
Those are the 3 C's. You embrace those 3 C's. Stay away from the other 3 C's, right?
Crowded places, close contact, and confined spaces. Wear your mask. Get you some hand sanitizer.
Wear your mask. Get your hand sanitizer. Yep. Be safe, and we'll see you next Friday for the Friday Love and Learn.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks a lot. See you, Julie.
See ya.